Hi guys.
Don't want snow.
We're talking about life. Life in the fast lane.
You know what I bought?
Tuesday.
I bought tooth tattoos, but I'm afraid to use them on my fake teeth.
Oh, don't do that.
Oh, I could put it here.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking a coffee because it's morning time, and I've come to realize that I like coffee, even though sometimes I don't think about drinking it, but I make it like a milkshake. And then I realized that
Your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, and they're like, "It's better than yours." Damn right, it's better than yours. I could teach you, but I have to charge or no?
maybe
Yeah,
I thought our kids have drinks already. And they're like so young. They're teenagers, okay? So I'm like, oh my God, they have drinks and it's part of their routine. It's what they do. It's where they go. So I was like, whoa, they're very early to start the habit of drinks.
Because nobody drank coffee when we were in high school. I remember one person would get her coffee in the morning and I was like, and she would smoke and she had coffee. I'm like, you're such a grown up. Looking at back now at what like a grade 11 looks like, having a grade 11, she was such a woman and she had a cigarette and a coffee. And I was like,
a cigarette.
Oh yeah, they all did. And like I'm like and like the nails done and the cigarette and the coffee. And I was like, I am so not like you, you know?
I know. And I didn't drink coffee till I had a baby.
Yeah.
I did not. And you know, I found old pictures of myself. My girlfriend was sending them to me from when we were younger. Hilarious. And Olivia's like, nice makeup. I go, I don't have any makeup on.
No, we did not wear makeup.
I was at a bar and I didn't have makeup on. Like I didn't have foundation.
No.
I didn't have concealer.
No.
Like there was maybe some mascara.
That was it.
I didn't even have a purse.
No.
That never, like when I saw a purse, I'm like, oh,
Where did we keep our stuff?
We didn't have cell phones. You just had like
your card.
Maybe like
money?
I think I put it in my bra.
Yep.
Or I always had one friend who had a purse, and I was like, "Can you hold this for me?"
But yeah, like no makeup. Like I never put makeup on my skin.
No, and that was so 90s to be so white. Like I never had a tan. There was no bronzer. I was like, "This is."
I went to the tanning salon a lot in high school. Oh yeah,
Natalie.
Right where we go now.
Natalie.
Oh my God, we all did. We went at lunch.
I went a few times and I heard it's really bad for you.
Oh, we would go every day. We would go, not every day, but we would go all the time. We always had like a nice even tan.
Oh, I missed that memo.
And then we always had like like the thong lines and stuff.
Then you could get a tattoo and be a little bit trashy.
You could get the Playboy bunny.
You could get the bunny tattoo.
You 100%. And then I just like hated pale skin, but I never even considered of wearing bronzer or makeup or self tanner.
Oh, I don't think. Where would you get it?
But models and actresses must have worn makeup. I guess
they'd go to MAC probably and get and it was so.
Oh, there were the girls that wore makeup though. Oh, they just looked so good.
They look like grown ups.
Yes,
they're like 13 with like a face of makeup.
They went to MAC. And also they could afford to go to MAC. We didn't have money to buy makeup. That's another reason we don't buy makeup.
I knew nobody. I don't even know where the MAC store was. Like I remember seeing MAC as like a common thing. But I was walking the dog today and I walked by a whole bunch of like schools and. I walked by a middle school, which our middle school 7-8. For some of you, it's 7-8-9. For some of you, it's 6-7-8
or 5-6-7.
So I'm walking, and I'm seeing most of them have not hit puberty. They're so tiny. There's a few big ones. They're kind of having conversations. There's this bridge that you weren't allowed to walk down when you were our age because it was for like certain people only. Rampers. And I just looked at them, and I'm like, you guys are so small, like so like I don't even think you have a pube yet, and you caused such
a ruckus. You did, and you had so much power, and you were so small.
I'm sure I know it's still that way.
Of course, I drive by them twice a day, like those same kids, and I was thinking to myself also. So our friend, let's say someone we know is newly single.
Yes,
and this guy from high school, who she literally hasn't seen since high school, slips into her DMs.
Whoa.
And he's like, hey. And that ignites like this whole conversation about these guys that we used to think were hot in high school. And then, they peaked in high school. But also, and I guess the same thing can happen now, but like, they're like, he was good looking. And we're like, no, think back to the way he looked. He was not very good looking. He just had power as like a cool person. So many guys were not hot, but they were rampers or like they were like the head of it all, but they're not actually handsome.
You might even have I was looking when
they had sex in grade 7.
That was what I was saying. They were having sex, they were drinking, and their parents did not know because there was not social media. And
That's Tucker's age.
Yes.
Tucker.
No. dude, when I walked by, some of the kids were like, so I had a book report, but I didn't do it on the thing. And I was like, because I know kids who went to that school via other kids, and the rumors and the conversations were still the same, that there was drugs in the lockers. Like this, it was the same stories over
exactly
and over,
the same as when
stories.
we were young.
And I was like, then I walked by, I'm like, either there's lots of rumor mills, because I looked at them and I was like, there was one rumor, I won't say from what year, and it was the same rumor that we had, which is so crazy, that a girl was having sex for money with an older guy, and she was getting paid to have sex with him. And I'm like, that rumor's still going around, or it's either happening, or how do you guys have the exact same rumors that were when we were younger? And I was like, either someone tells a story, because we do know that middle school and high school is notorious for misinformation. So like one story comes out and then it just spreads, and it's all of a sudden like the craziest story ever. So I have learned to definitely like stop and be like, okay, like they do like to dramatize. That's part of what they do.
Yeah, I guess that's part of their game, and they love the drama. They love to think like, oh my God, it's this outrageous, and then you're like, but
and they brought a knife to school, and they threatened them. And I was like, do your parents know? Like, you probably woke up and your mom probably packed your lunch and then was like, did you do that? And then it's like, you probably cried about something on the weekend, or you're like, you had a temper tantrum and your mom had to be like, Johnny, get upstairs and make your bed. And you're like, no. Like, what I was thinking how immature they are at home. Okay. How immature the kids are at home. And then you go and you're fingering and having sex with people in the ravine. And I'm like, it is just such when you see other people's kids, you're like, that's why people say my kid would never do that, because you cannot fathom it.
I was having a conversation, and there was a mother and daughter in it, and the daughter she got some like gumption in that moment and started talking. And I know that her mother thought that none of that was happening, like would probably put her money on. But in the moment, the daughter just decided to feel free because other people were around. She started talking, and the mother was like, I just saw her face, and I was like, like, don't ever think that my kid would never be involved. You know how many parents say that? My kid is so naive. My kid is so not into it. My kid actually doesn't even, oh my God, they're so naive. Like, they're like kids their age are talking about this stuff. I swear he doesn't even know what a 69 is. Okay. So he's just saying it. And he hasn't inquired or Googled it when he has access to the internet. You think he really does not know what that? I'm not going to convince you. To each your own. He fucking knows what a 69 is.
So I think I have a tiny hack. I think this is just from my experience, very limited in the teen world. If they're talking about it, if they're sharing stories like so-and-so, like they're sharing stories about other people, it usually means they're not doing it when they're silent. It usually means they're involved. So if they're talking about it, they're trying to process kind of what's happening, right? When they're quiet, you begin to be like, if they're not saying, and maybe your kid's not a talker, so it's not fair to like assume, but if you think they're going to school and learning algebra and that is it, you are off your rocker. They are definitely like
80% of their life is about the other stuff.
This story will sum up one of my kids' school's experiences. I'm not going to say which one. I'm not going to say when it was from, but I remember they said to me, when I heard there was something inappropriate on Sirius XM, whatever, this was 2 years ago. And it was something about like maybe something came up that should not have come up with a grade 4, let's just say, or 3 or 2, whatever, however old they were. And they look at me and was like, is that like OnlyFans? Now, OnlyFans was not even OnlyFans like OnlyFans is today, because OnlyFans is kind of, a lot of people know about OnlyFans. You know the story. And I was just kind of like, how the hell do you know about OnlyFans? Because there was not on the internet, didn't have a phone. I just was like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's not a sum up of a school. It's a sum up of everybody who has someone. Oh, it's like when people are like, oh, my kid believes in Santa Claus. If they talk to older kids, they know there's no Santa Claus. God, you can go ahead and pretend, and guess what? They're pretending too.
The only reason I say the sum up of the school is because it's like the character, and like it's so like, how do you know? It's like, oh, my reading buddy in grade 8 told me. And technically, just like another school we know where you're supposed to be in a leadership position when you're showing younger kids around her.
That's not. You can't give that kids that kind of responsibility ever. You know,
it's hilarious. It was just because another parent would have been like, you're telling me you were with a learning buddy and they taught you about OnlyFans.
Or the other parent would be like, what's OnlyFans?
Right. I just laughed. I was like, that is iconic that you are a grade 4 learning about OnlyFans from a grade 8 when they're supposed to be your reading buddy. And I actually was thankful because it showed that, a lot of schools put children on pedestals, like in positions of being like, our boys, our girls are like this. And they are so, and then I'm like, oh, you don't even, they are like that part of the time. Part of the time, they're great.
I mean, I don't think anybody believes any preteen or teen is anything all the time. They can just do their best to help out. You know what I mean? And guide. And some schools don't have time to guide. And some do have time to guide. But if you know children and preteens and teens, like that's part of their job. I mean, if they're not doing that stuff, they're not human.
Teaching the kids about OnlyFans?
Inquiring about that stuff, learning about that stuff, knowing about that stuff, talking to younger kids about things.
I would hope that maybe my child would not feel that. I would hope that they would know that, like maybe a grade 6, but a grade 3 or 4, I think it was grade 3, like very young, where I would hope that you wouldn't feel the need to teach grade 3s from your perspective what OnlyFans was, or like talking about it while talk about fun things. But I'm hopeful.
I would think that if the kid's parent would be the same kind of hopeful.
Yeah, like I hope my kid's not asking about OnlyFans in grade 3. Like,
you know what I mean? But that grade 8's parent is the same hopeful as you are.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm. That's why I think conversations are so important. But I would hope that there is judgment, just like I hope my kids wouldn't expose a younger kid to something that they shouldn't be exposed to.
I would hope the same.
That's what I hope. And I hope I'm teaching that. So I don't want to ever, it goes back to the point, I don't ever want to assume my child is. I don't ever want to think, oh, they just know not to do that. I think it's an active conversation of like, don't do that to younger kids. Like, don't do that. Like, have it amongst your peers. Talk to the other kids, but don't go to like a grade 1. Like, do you know what a blowjob is? If you're in grade 6, fucking judgment. And I know judgment is what's that thing? You assume that they assume you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah, judge not before you judge thyself. I think that's from the Bible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, back to the Bible.
Of course.
But also in a whole class full of children. Not everyone's going to be the same, and a lot of them would never do that. But there's always going to be a few who will.
Of course. I just think
your son just got a good reading buddy.
I just think an
educational reading buddy.
I just think a lot of parents would think their kid would never.
Of course.
And I think that's my point, is that I hope I have been open and I hope I'm educating them in a way to teach them, oh my God, you're going to have inappropriate conversations. You're going to talk to your friends. You're going to say things. I know that some of the parents, when they hear the kids' game online, they're shocked by the language. Like, they're like, are we concerned about this? And I'm like, how can you be concerned when coaches say fuck every second word and then you're shocked that your kid is online gaming? Because if you're going to stand for a coach having bad behavior, then you got to let your 12-year-old have the exact same bad behavior.
My son goes, there's a kid on my team who just swears out loud all the time. And he goes, there's no reason to swear in hockey. And he had a friend in the car. I go, well, that must be really hard for you to turn it off, because in our house, it just flows. I'm like, so then you get to hockey and it just turns off. He goes, no, but we're all friends and we're all on the same team and we shouldn't be mad. We should be having fun. I'm like, wow.
Well, your family is a team, just so you know.
I go, you don't just go like sometimes. He goes, in my head, not out loud. I go, wow.
Oh, so we know your kid is not sharing OnlyFans during reading buddies. 100%.
Actually, I know nothing. And that's another thing, is that there's going to be kids who talk about other kids doing things, but really
it's them.
Yes. And they just want to see what your reaction is to it.
Just going to throw my beauty pie favorite lipstick on, Cowboy Nude. Yeah, no, I was just like, hold on, sorry guys. I don't know how to put lipstick on. That's another thing. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how you go up. I don't know how you do the upper lip. How do you do this?
There, but don't stick your lips out so far.
So like this.
Yeah?
That doesn't feel like
watch
that.
this.
You're telling me, you go.
Yes. Yeah. What? Why are you being weird?
Because I can't. It feels weird.
But whenever I see you do it, it just goes like this. You just go.
You put your lips out. You go like this.
Yeah. Well, not like this. You just go so you can get the lip line.
You make an asshole face.
And that's it.
Like this. So you do like this. Do it for me. I'm actually trying to learn.
Well, I see you do it all the time, and you do it perfectly.
I do.
Yes.
When I stop and think, because I don't know why it's. I don't know what.
So you don't have to turn it. You just go up and down. I've never seen you have a problem. I watch you do it all the time.
Well, you made me think when I.
No, don't turn it around.
Remember?
Because your mom turns it around.
You told me that you're the only. You've told me you only see me do the one with weird lipstick. That's why.
No. You do it normal. Your mom has it like that.
You told me I didn't do it normal once.
No, it's because of that lipstick that your mom used. I've never seen your lipstick be like that.
My really
She
nice one
must
from
do
that
it
woman
different.
is. Yes.
So
I
she
think
goes
she
like
goes
this.
Like too lit.
Nope. She goes, oh, does she go in the middle?
Yeah, I think she goes
I've
like
never
this.
seen it. That's how she puts her lips. Yes, that's how she puts her lipstick on.
Yeah, that's how I've learned. So then,
I've never seen. Your lipsticks aren't shaped like that. Just your mom's.
but you told me recently I put it on. You've never seen my lipstick be like that, and I've been so self-conscious that I'm like, how do you put it on?
You do it right.
Okay, good.
But the way how your mom's is, I never seen that before.
You recently told me I did it weird. That's what made me feel like, oh my, I think I have another lip. I should look. That I was like, oh no, what am I doing? I feel like I'm doing it wrong. Anyways, lipstick. Yeah. So the assumption of children, just no. I'm learning. Stop looking at me. This is also beautified.
Yeah.
I thought I'd give a bit of gloss while we're on camera.
Yeah.
I don't know what color that one is. It's getting harder to
I
resize.
know.
Nude nectar. I like nude. I don't like being nude, but I like nude. Oh, ironic. So, hold on. So I was talking to our hair guy yesterday, and I said, I don't know if they still do this, but I thought when you get sushi in Japan,
Yeah.
and the women lie down naked,
okay.
and they put the sushi on them.
Okay. Did they do that in Japan, or is that like an American thing that they do with sushi? Like, because they seem to do it on TV all the time.
That could just be wrong. That could just be a movie glorified thing.
Yeah, and I think that and like Sex and the City, Samantha did it for her husband once, and people hire people at parties to lay there and eat the sushi off.
First of all, I'm like, do they have underwear on?
I think so. Yeah, I think, or it could be leaf underwear.
And I'm like,
it's gross because your body is perspiring.
And then I'm like, how do you keep the sushi cold? But then you're cold lying on the table. And then I'm like, do you have room temperature? And then you're like,
That's so weird.
It's so weird. And I'm like, how long do you lie there? And then are you comfortable? No, because you're on a wood table. I'm like, do you get a mattress? And that's even weirder that you're lying on a mattress getting sushi eaten off of you.
I think it's a table. And I think there's something probably really inappropriate because I think that women are always like Japanese. There's got to be something wrong about that.
It's like yes, it's very, I feel like it's cultural appropriate, like bad.
100%.
Okay, good.
It probably still happens with like, I mean, if you go
to a restaurant that's like underground.
And like the
money.
kind of people place that like Epstein's people would do that.
That is a whole fucking bag of worms over there too.
I know. I know, and that's crazy that Jimmy and we can talk about this on the Wednesday one too, but like that Jimmy, Aaron Rodgers throwing Jimmy, and he was like, I never fucking went there. Like, I'm not. And then he's like, because Oprah went there. Does Oprah just not comment about it? She's like, I don't fucking know. I went to a party there. I don't even know who these people are. What?
He was we'll do this for tomorrow because it's a really good thing. But as I've been watching more TV, call me crazy. I've only watched 2 episodes of The Crown. I was trying to understand the relationships because the relationships in the royal family are so fucked, okay? The Queen Elizabeth and her husband really did love each other, okay? Apparently. They were like in love. Yeah. She would leave her children because the one son's involved also in the Epstein, like heavily involved in the Epstein. Andrew. I didn't know how many kids she had. I only know the one.
Andrew, who was married to Fergie, and Fergie was a royal rebel too. She was like remember she went all America.
Well, so was Queen Elizabeth's husband. He was kind of a royal rebel when they got married, okay?
Because he wasn't royal. He just married her.
He was royal in Greece, but he had to let go of his title to come or something. He was a royal somewhere else.
That king that just died a bunch of years ago when she was widowed, he was Greek?
He was something. I've got to find it. He comes from another royal thing, and then they get married. He has to let it go. And he's like, okay, I'll come.
But he did it for love.
Well, they didn't know she was going to become the queen so quickly. In the Crown.
Oh, apparently the Crown is not real, but fucking real.
Okay, so Queen Elizabeth, they have to leave their children, very young children, for like 6 months when they go and do the tours because their dad, the king, gets sick. So they're like, you have to take over duties. So I was Googling, like, did she as a woman back in the day leave their children for that long? And apparently via Google, the royals, you didn't really raise your children.
Mm-hmm.
The nannies raised your children, like
Mm-hmm.
all royals. So you'd kind of just show up and do the thing. Because
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, how can you become so fucked up? Like
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, like
Mm-hmm.
when you assume that they would have such a doting, loving family, but it
Mm.
seems like from everything I've read, including Harry's,
Mm-hmm.
that the dad is just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
they were all taught just to do a role, and then
Mhm.
you're like, hello son, like it's not
Mhm.
a natural relationship, which makes kind of sense because they were all left to be loved by someone else.
I think that was with a lot of like really important rich families. Like, remember The Sound of Music?
Yeah. Oh,
Like, you know,
didn't she die, the mom?
yeah, she was like dead for a long time, but then like dad wasn't really, and a nanny raised them. But I'm sure if their mother was there, she still wouldn't have raised them either.
So when you're rich and you leave, it's fine. If you're poor and you leave for 6 months, you go to jail.
I know, and I was just thinking that just made me think about like celebrities back in the day when they didn't have the pressures that and not the pressures, sorry, the open conversation about the effects of like being a mom and being a good mom and parenting and all that stuff. Like, those celebrities would just go off probably and just leave their kids behind when they went to do movies for months. But now it's like she's got to, you know, she's a woman, she's a mother, she's got to bring her kid.
I think of how much guilt people have for leaving for like a dinner
Ah.
or a weekend.
Ah.
I was literally watching. I'm like, this woman couldn't even phone. You can't even call. There was no phone.
Yeah.
At 6 months, it was expected she leave and just go ride cars and wave at people.
Yeah.
Like literally, like that.
And then it was almost like when they saw their parents, it was like seeing a celebrity, like, oh my God, my mom's here.
Oh, you have to behave when you see them. You behave. Your mom's home. Behave.
And these days, that's exactly who you misbehave in front of.
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm driving Olivia to go pick up a fucking sub because she couldn't get her shit together to make a lunch before her thing. And I said, if I was a different mom, I would have dropped you off at the sub place and make you walk to school. But I waited for you and I drove you. And then I thought there's got to be a new name for this mom that we are right now.
Yes.
And it's not like a bougie mom. It's like the convenient. It's like we make their life so convenient at our inconvenience. And I'm like, what? Are we martyr moms? What is that mom?
And I can't, and I feel so, it must be so hard for a parent who is unable to do that. And so then there's the ones who are unable to do it.
And then who won't.
But then some of them feel so much guilt that they feel that they need to hire a nanny, even though the kids are old enough to be independent. So they hire the nanny to replace them in that job because they want someone to be able to drive them, pick them up. Like,
she's in grade 9. So I said to her, if I know a mom who would fucking never do that, okay?
Yeah.
And she lives in my neighborhood.
Mhm.
And I'm like, if I was so-and-so, I would have been
I
like,
know.
you're going to walk and get your lunch and you're going to figure it out.
know.
I am not going to problem solve. I am not going to DoorDash pick up your sub so that you can have a sub. I was so mad at myself.
Because that's
I was
exactly who we're mad at.
so-
Because it's us. We
Oh, it's
are
me.
100. I know, but you know, some parents, they always like, why is my kid like this? And why is this so special? Kat and I are very aware that the reason our kids the way they are is because, and it goes back to one of my favorite things I ever learned, and I say it all the time, is you teach people how to treat you. And if and you teach with children as sleeping, eating, behavior, responsibility. How are they supposed to know how to do it when we're always doing it for them? I had the exact same thought, and it was in the past 12 hours, and I can't remember what it was. One of them I love is when the kids are like, let's say it's -20, it's pouring rain, and it's like the windy and like the worst thing, and they're like, come pick me up. And you're like, oh, that does kind of suck. I mean, okay, fine, I'll come get you. And you drive down the street, and there's 100 soaking wet, drenched kids.
And they're 5. They're 5.
And they're 5.
They're 5
No,
years old
they're
walking.
five.
Anyway, I saw so many babies walking to school. I'm like, you are so little walking down a very busy road by a very busy road.
And I never wore a winter boot, and I would get to school or work with my socks soaking wet. But now if we imagine our kids,
they would call us,
wet,
my feet are wet.
we would feel
my
like
feet are wet.
You have to be at school all day with soaking wet socks. That would be,
No.
I don't even want that for you.
I hate myself as a mom right now. I hated myself this morning. And I said, I was like,
I know what another one was.
what?
My mom.
That's walking in weather is a big one for you, by the way. That is actually they
one.
should know because you should say if it's raining, actually
It's too late.
you want because I feel like you want them to walk in the rain.
I want them to be just as wet as every other
know
kid.
you do.
Why are they all wet? And my kids are wet, and they're not wearing umbrellas, and they're not wearing boots. But my kids can't get wet, and so
No, we're called the rescue mom. We're the rescue.
That's right.
We're rescuers.
I forgot my fork. Okay, I'll bring you a fork.
Yeah. We're rescuers. You know what we are called?
So-
What's the rescue? It's the there's helicopter.
Yes.
There's snowplow.
We're the rescuers.
We're the rescuers.
Yes.
We're the rescue
We're the
generation.
rescuers down under, but not down under. So my mom yesterday, okay, Olivia and Taylor, so our daughters are going to babysit my sister's baby. And so I say to my sister, just out of curiosity, and I never used to ask the parents this when I babysat, what time do you think you're going to be coming home? Is it a late one, an early one? She's like, 1 o'clock, unless that's too late, then we can come home at 12. I go, no. You've hired them to babysit, And my mom goes, oh, Natalie, no. You need to tell them to come home before 12. Olivia and Taylor are going to be very tired. I go, and there was all these moments where I go, you didn't care about me when your best friends kept calling, going, can we have another half an hour? And they would come home at 2:30 in the morning. You didn't care. When I told you they came home at 2:30 in the morning, you would be like, ooh, you must have made so much more money. I go, why do you care about Taylor staying up too late?
What'd she say?
Grandchildren are different, Natalie. She's so worried about Taylor and Olivia having to stay up and make a little more money.
You're killing me right now.
I go, Mom. And Mom picks up Taylor if she needs to go drive somewhere.
Oh, I know.
I know my mom wasn't available. She probably would have if she could have when I was younger. But it is. And you know what? Olivia and Taylor, it's too late because they're too old for this.
Well, they're too old for this. I know. I know. No, it's terrible.
I am never.
It's terrible.
Next year. And then, today, Tucker's like, who's going to pick me up from school because he doesn't have his ride home. He takes the bus there. And Teddy goes, this snarky little way, is it really that hard to take the bus home, Tucker? I held my breath because I'm not going to do this in the morning. Our boys can actually take the public transit to where you live quite easily.
Really?
Really?
Okay.
I took it all the time.
Right.
One bus. And it would drop you off right at your corner here.
Okay.
It's too late. Next year, I'm not touching those two boys. And you know what my son goes?
What?
The one goes because our boys are going to be going, the two besties, Tucker and Max.
Hopefully.
Are definitely going to 100% be going to school together next year. And Tucker was like, it was like one morning it was a little bit, he goes, can't you just drive me to school? And I go, no. And then he goes, well, can you just take me to Cat's house? Because she drives by there. I go, she's not going to drive you to school. Do you know how to, are you able to walk from the village, whatever? And then he goes, next year, I'll have my rides.
And you're like, how are you going to get to her house to get there? Because the other one won't be going there.
He's going to have to think about it because I bet he would scooter to your house and back to be able to drive with you.
That's really cute.
In the morning. But he's really going to have to weigh out how easy it is to just take the bus.
And what time he wants to get there at.
Because yours will get there right in time.
Well, I love that we're having this conversation online right now.
We're doing
you guys
logistics.
Are you know what? The fuckers on principle, no one gets a ride except for the little one. You know what? Because you were in grade 3, you get a ride and that's it. The rest of you, on your own.
I said to a parent yesterday, I go, you know what? I go,
I don't want to see you after school. I actually don't want to see you.
Stay at school with your friends.
Go and do bad things. I don't want to see you.
Why are you home so early?
I was never home.
Never.
What are you? Why do you not have a life? Go do something. Why do you want to come home and see me? Because I make your life easy? Yes.
Because
you know what?
So fun.
Oh my God. I'm going to start chores when they get home.
Oh,
Absolutely.
we're not going to do it. We're going to do it.
You know
for
what?
3 days.
I have stuck on the laundry. I have even the little one. I have.
But you have also had your helper away.
Yeah, no. And I said, and they,
because you're not going to do it.
I'm not doing it. And I said to them, and all of them actually kind of like having their knowing the process of where their laundry is.
Oh, yes.
Because they like knowing it goes, because sometimes it ends up everywhere.
Yes.
So I was so proud of myself for even Chloe this morning woke up and folded her laundry. She came down. She's like, I need my laundry. I'm like, it's downstairs. Go and get it.
You're going to have to tell your helper to not do laundry.
Just mine. Just do my
laundry. Oh, of course. Yours in the sheets.
Yeah.
She's going to have an easy job.
So I just thought to myself, I was like, there's more I need to do because I also make the other ones like the grade 6's lunch. I'm like, this is a fucking loser that I'm doing. I feel like a loser. I'm a mom loser right now. I'm a mom.
I know.
You know what? I'm so unimpressed with myself.
We need to go away.
I'm like, who are you as a person that you have made this so convenient?
Why
for
are
them?
our moms not telling us that what we're doing is wrong?
My mom's part of the problem.
Oh no, I know. So's mine.
She says to, okay, last story.
They made us do everything, and now they're not. And my mom's like, "Oh, you're not going to pick her up. Oh, you're gonna. Are they going to be okay?"
So she goes like this. So my daughter's on a field trip today. Mm-hmm. They're all taking the subway down. all of them.
Yes.
You can pick them up at school at 4:30
Yes.
after they take the subway back to the school.
Yes.
Someone's like, does she need to be picked up? I'm like, no. She's going to stay on the subway
Yes.
with like everybody else would
Yes.
and take the subway home.
Yes.
I'm not going to go back to a school to pick her up
Yes.
when she could easily take 2 fucking stops
Yes.
and walk home.
Is she gonna do that?
And my mom's like, well, this will be her first time, right? I'm like, no, Mom. And I also said, she is 14 and 15 in a minute. She can drive in about 14 months, 15 months. I'm like, so you really need to let this shit go because I'm like, and she's going away this summer on her own. So I was like, you're going to have to let her launch. Fly, baby bird. So my daughter knows she can just text her grandma and she would literally fly home and pick her up. I will fly home. You know what? Oh, I'm in London, England. I'll be right there. Just wait. You know, I'll Uber Black you home. Uber Black. You're going to Uber Black her home? No. She can send a stinky ass Uber and come home.
Well, that's another thing. I was like to my mom, I can send her in an Uber. My mom goes, no. So now my mom's going to sit in traffic. She drove yesterday from like 3:30 to, I don't know when the last drop off was. And I was like, she could just go in an Uber. No, I'll do it. Like, it's like they haven't got like Uber culture.
Yeah. And it's not helpful that there's like
what?
Bad news, bad press.
I haven't read it. So that's no problem for me.
There's a guy.
So there's bad press for Ubers. There's bad press for TTC. So I guess we're going to have to drive them around.
So what he did was he's sexually assaulted, and they're like, just be aware he's probably on other rideshare apps because they can't find him. So he's probably being different names on different. They're like, we have to find him because there's so many rideshares.
But you can really look at how many rides that they've done and their star rating.
I wonder what his was. I have to look it up because they were like, it was like a warning, being like he could be jumping between.
Because if he's changing names, I'm sure like Uber, like.
I mean, he got into Uber.
Yeah, he got in, but how long had he been driving?
We need to investigate. Let's call 911.
I had an Uber driver. It was so cute to pick me up. His license plate was his name, and I was also like, that was so easy.
Yeah, you're like, can everyone do
to
that?
Find you? But then I was like, you also can't hide.
And actually the teen one's good because then they know that they're being traced. If you get Uber teen,
being traced, and not everybody can be a
teen driver,
Uber driver. Like it's
I
only
love
the 5-star ratings.
Okay, guys. Well, that was a full confessional. You're welcome for that. If you're with us on that, if you are not doing that, I don't think it's too late. But anyways, if you're not us right now, let us know if you're doing a great job at raising your kids and not letting them be attached to you. That's what we do. They're attached to us. Unhealthy. That's an unhealthy attachment. We're codependent.
September. I mean,
September.
I'll be really good in September because I'll have 3 independents.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't pick them up. I don't.
Your husband does.
Well, he's not going to do the big one. The big one wants to fly. He's been wanting to fly.
Fly, baby bird, fly.
Fly, baby bird, fly.